Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the late one with myself, Silburn Sidiel. And it's the day before New Year's Eve, the day before we embark onto 2021. And while the music was playing a while ago, I felt like I wanted to do a rap, because everybody talk about lockdown. I did a rap some time ago. I did go lockdown in the place to be. Lockdown. Everybody want to be tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. Even now, we're gonna have a tier 5, tier 6. People don't know what to do, what to say because lockdown everywhere. The coronavirus, the virus is looking. Everybody is looking to find where the virus is. They say, look out, watch out, stay alert. What's going on? Vaccine. Take 1, take 2, take 3, take 4. What is a vaccine? Think about that for a second. I don't know, you don't know, we don't know. But hey, some say just go with the flow. But I say go with the flow. Why do you go with the flow? When you go with the flow, you go in someone else's stream. Instead, one should create their own rivers. As I always say, and this is a quote which I have. Don't go with the flow, or you'll be in someone else's streams. So instead, create your own rivers. Create your own standard. Create the way that you should go, right? Because, ladies and gentlemen, according to how I see it, and according to how many people I see it, it is like we are on the road to something which is an unknown factor, an unknown entity where we don't know where we're going, but some like we're going. It's like we are coached. It's like we are propelled. It's like we are monitored. It's like we are led. And many people don't understand what is happening. I don't understand what is happening. But somehow you feel like there's a hidden hand. And sometimes, is that the hidden hand of God or is it the hand of the devil? I don't know. But hey, guys, that's just my little start today. I want to thank you so much for coming on. And tonight is the Unapologetic night where anything goes. This is where I invite guests, my viewers, to share their views on two of the big news which is happening out there now. And the bigger one is COVID, the vaccine, the implication. But there's been a bigger one which has been something which started around this time. Well, not started around this time, which was big around this time last year, when just before we had Brexit, where everything, let's say Brexit is done. But then the question you got to ask yourself is this: has Brexit done as yet? Has Brexit been done? So that's the reason why I title this show today, and it's a simple title: is Brexit finally delivered? Right, that is one. How many more tears till COVID-19 take a hike? Yep. And just as I was coming on, I heard that the schools are being pushed back. And just as I was coming on, I heard that hospitals are piling up with people. And when I heard piling up, I said, piling up? That's what's in the papers. Piling up. Piling up with what? Piling up with dead people or piling up with people? How can you be piled up with people? Anyway, I'm not here as a conspiracy theorist. I'm here just as a voice. I'm here just to highlight some of the issues and also give you an opportunity to say your views and to share your thoughts. Yep. Now, how has it been, ladies and gentlemen? How has it been? I'll just ask you. How has it been in the UK? How has it been? Let's have a conversation. How has it been, really? Michelle Clark, peace and blessing to you and Silburn and all alive from Florida. How has it been in Florida, Michelle? What is it like over there? There's this talk about this money which Americans should get, one that Trump held back, and the one that some people are saying $600 is a bit short, like it need more. How is it over there? How are people coping at this time with this COVID thing? How are people coping at home? How are people coping? Sorry, I'm just sharing this. Please share this video at the same time. What I'm doing, I'm just sharing this. Just share this. Just share it. Share it. I had decided that I wasn't going to come on for the rest of the year. My team, which is David, Keisha, and Kima, we said that the foxes. If you hear a sound outside like somebody's crying, it's the foxes. And I tell you what, when I saw the foxes the other day, and I was thinking about them, and I'm just going to pull up the window here. But foxes dig holes, yeah? They dig holes. And I was saying to myself of recent days, when they talk about this whole thing about the purge, and they talk about zombies, and they talk about the holes and the basement. And I was thinking, hang on a second, is that the reason why the foxes are in my garden? Is that the reason why the foxes are there digging holes, digging trenches? There's a song in Jamaica years ago. They always say they dig a hole, and they put the devil in. Guys, I'm just having fun, really. I even just did a video a while ago with Keith Sweat and just having a chill time, because you cannot afford at this time to lose your mind, even though many people are losing their mind. You cannot afford to be consumed by so many things which are happening around us, whereby you feel like you're out of control. That's the worst thing to be felt, like you're out of control and you haven't got it together. It's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling whereby you feel like you are not in control. Hello, and how are you guys? Good. Hi, Izari, and hi, Latoya. And you say you having they're annoying. They made so much noise last night. Listen, the Foxes may be onto something, you know what I'm saying? Just like when Michael Jackson used to wear all the gloves and everybody used to laugh at him and putting on all the masks, they was laugh at him. But no, Michael Jackson is not turning in his grave. Michael Jackson is laughing and saying, hey, you guys, I knew something that you didn't know. I'm sound like I'm taking this lightly, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm not taking it lightly. But I think that at the same time, we have got to somehow have a self-introspection, reflection, and to be reflective of where we are. You see, in 2019, I do recall when 2019 started, just before 2019. And in regards to the term Brexit, I recall I was in Trafalgar Square and all those places when we were all starting out to get Brexit done. Was it January, December, And also I recall leading just before the new year, a lot of people were saying, this is my year. And I saw a recent video or a clip or a post, which I had posted and somebody shared it. And it was everybody saying, this is my year. This is the year which I'm going to do great things. Can't wait for 2019 to go. 2020 is the year. Did you say that? Did you say 2020 is your year? What do you say of it today? Is it still your year? And are you saying I can't wait for 2021? Many people are saying that, but they're not saying that out publicly. As a post which was done recently, we're saying, I'm waiting to see all the persons who are saying 2020, can't wait for 2020. 2021, I think, 2021. And many people are just somewhat gobsmacked, feeling like they're not in control. It's not a good feeling to be not in control. It's not a good feeling for man, especially who is the head of his house, not to be in control, whereby things are pulled underneath the rug is pulled underneath your feet, whereby you have had no control over it. It's not a good feeling when a mother is not able to comfortably feed her children. It's not a good feeling when children are not able and can't feel like they can go and mingle with their friends. It's not a good feeling whereby you're not feeling good. It's not a good feeling when you're living in fear. It is not a good feeling, right? And that's something that lots of people talking about. And while all of that is happening, and before I touch on to the COVID factor there, the government has been hell-bent, and in a right sense, they should be really focused, because it is like when you have a terrorist, and they always talk about terrorism all the while. When terrorists come knocking at your door, and when terrorists wreak havoc, one of the things that governments always say is that we have to remain and be vigilant. We've got to keep going with our life as normal. We cannot let them win. cannot let them be victorious. That is what governments always say. Okay? And so I'm so pleased that I'm still seeing the Brexit debate and the whole aspect of Brexit being delivered and Brexit being done continued. Not just because I am a Brexiter, in the sense that I'm one of those persons who voted for Brexit. I'm one of those persons who want Brexit. And many people will say, how can a black man do that? I said, listen, that's your problem, mate. You know, everything can't just be of color. Everybody think differently and have a different focus. And so the more you think about it, you realize that life has got to go on in some respect. Why is Brexit being delivered and continued while other things cannot continue? That's the thing you got to ask yourself. That's a question. Why are airlines sometimes flying still where people are closely packed together with the mask, and yet churches cannot continue? Why is it that there's this virus which everybody's even asking the question, is there a virus? What is this virus? I'm just putting it out there. I don't doubt that there's something. I don't doubt that people's lives have been lost. I don't doubt that. But at the same time, there are many unanswered questions. And many people are poised to take a vaccine, which they're not happy with, which they don't feel comfortable with. But somehow they're seeing like the signs are leading them towards that it might be the only way forward. Not the way forward for their health, but the way forward for their way of life. The way forward to go to a restaurant. The way forward to go to the gym. The way forward to go on a plane ride. The way forward to go to school. The way forward to go to your job. Many things are being put. Many innuendos are being said. Oh, that minister said that we might have to have a passport or so in order to travel. That person say that. These are things which are dropping. They call it droplets. Droplets, right? Droplets that just kept coming down. Little things that just keep dropping, and it permeate the mind. It's like somebody's trying to program the mindset. Yeah. So one of the things that has been breaking through anyhow is the Brexit trade. Boris said UK having its cake and eating it, says Boris Johnson. But is anybody interested in to hear about Brexit? Anybody interested to hear about Brexit? What does Brexit mean? Right? The Prime Minister, he conceded that there will be changes for business when the UK leaves the EU trading rules on Thursday. Right? So Thursday, which is tomorrow, the 31st. Right? Critics have said you cannot have free trade with the EU unless you conform with the EU laws, said the PM, and that was having your cake and eating it. This has turned out not to be true. ICAMA's MPs approved the legislation, approving the deal by 521 votes to 73 in the Commons vote today. It now goes to the House of Lords and is expected to become law later on Wednesday. Right? So it's a done deal for Brexit. Right? So all the chucks which are lining up there in Dover and all those sort of things, that was caused recent because of the vaccine and because of the new variant. So they got to make sure what is happening, what is actually going into Europe, mainstream Europe, by France. It had nothing to do with Brexit, because even if the UK was still a part of the EU, there would still have to be some form of control at the borders, and that is something which one would need, and it's only fair. So Brexit somehow, ladies and gentlemen, has been delivered, or minutes away, percentage away from being delivered. And Mr. Johnson will repeat it, puts admin that the business and citizens will face new hurdles when the UK leave the EU single market and custom union at 23 GMT on Thursday. Yeah. Is that yeah? Or is it yeah? Are you happy about Brexit? Right? Don't know what your views are. Did you vote for Brexit? Or is it irrelevant at this time? Are you of the view that everything should have just been stopped, everything should have been shut down at this time while the COVID bit is dealt with? Someone said recently, and I don't know if it is true, because they said in the initial lockdown, okay, the COVID-19 decreased, and it's the reason why they opened up. And then it started to go back up. Then they implemented more tiers, right? So it's Kent, different places, and then London. and it is still increasing. And people are still social distancing, and people are still wearing their mask. And it's lockdown now. It is still increasing. That as of today, what I believe is that it has gone from 3 to 4. Still going on. And therefore, they're going to keep going and going until the vaccine. Yeah, until the vaccine. The point is this. Now, why shouldn't business continue? Why shouldn't Brexit continue? Why shouldn't life cannot be put on hold? But at the same time, lives are put on hold in regard to this. It is felt that many lives will be devastated by the whole aspect of Brexit, the whole aspect of the lockdown. Many lives are going to be impacted in some respect. But I felt assured and I felt comforted when I think about the resilience of the human spirit, when I think about the resilience of the human mind, when I think about the resilience of people, where their back is against the wall, they will overcome. I believe that. I don't know if you believe that, or you're expecting that something will come from the top. I believe that when back is against the wall, something will happen. Something will kick through, and they'll make some amends. Okay? I believe that. And I'm just not being positive only, even though I'm positive and I want to send a positive message, because at the end of the show also I've got some positive affirmation and thing which I want to share, because at this time I believe instead of doom and gloom is just to lift up people. And that's the reason why I said I'm not going to be silent and just keep quiet and just let the new year go on. Every day is a new day. I'm not waiting for 2021. I'm waiting for tomorrow. I'm waiting for the next minute. I'm going for the next day, not waiting for another year. Many people say, I can't wait for the next year. I always have a philosophy that when you keep waiting for the next year, you already started something which is dangerous. And it's when you start that precedent, it doesn't work. And it is called procrastination. Procrastination is when you put back and wait for something to come in order for you to act. But I'm not saying that people are not acting while they're waiting for 2021. But I believe by you saying that you're waiting for 2021 or wait, well, it's just an next day now, still makes no difference now. Yeah. But it is art of procrastination. Just treat each day as the next day and work towards that. Okay. So Brexit is done. Brexit is delivered. Yeah. I'm happy about that. I'm not going to spill any milk about that. So here we go regarding Brexit. Now, regarding this COVID now, right? The latest with COVID, ladies and gentlemen, for those in the world and all over, you can listen to BBC, listen to all the news. I'm just regurgitating what they're saying. Is that 20 million people in England added to toughest tier of restrictions. A further 20 million people will join the toughest tier, which is the tier 4, right? Even though 4 is below 5, and there's people are saying there are 6, and there are 7 as well. Midlands, Northeast, parts of the Northwest and parts of Southwest are among those escalated to tier 4. I was speaking to someone today, and they said they got a cake for me, and they're all in Birmingham. And I said, well, we've got to do some Jim's Creech across the border, or some sort of, what should I say, some bandula business, or some resistance thing, some underground thing to get the cake. And now they're in 4, so we are busted now. So not much we can do now because they're in 4 now in Birmingham. Secondary schools across most of England are to remain closed for an extra 2 weeks for most pupils. The public must redouble its effort at this critical moment, the PM said, before adding he was confident things would be very much better by 5th of April. That is why I believe they had extended furlough. I was wondering why the furlough was extended so long. So 5th of April is now the marking date. But I'm sure if you look back in time, there was a marking date which they had before where things should have been better. But now they're expecting that the vaccines will work through people and everything will work out. Don't know if that's going to be the answer. Somehow I feel sometimes you got to let the virus breathe, let it die a natural death. I don't know. So that's something I've been thinking about. It's like the natural body needs to fight something which is alien to it. The natural body to fight something which is alien to it. But then if you put in something which is an antibody, something which is not, which is alien to the body, to fight something which is alien, man, that sounds like confusion, man. That sounds like craziness. Anyway, as I said before, I'm not any scientist or anything. I'm just thinking out loud. All of these measures in the end are designed to save lives, protect the NHS. At Downing Street Briefing, for every reason, I must ask you to follow the rules where you live tomorrow night and see the new year safely at home. Right? One, that people should not in any way think that this is over, as the virus is really surging. The virus is really surging. Comments came as further 50,000 new COVID cases were recorded in UK on Wednesday, as well as 981 more deaths within 21 days of a positive test, more than a double Tuesday total. May those people who pass will rest in peace. But if you notice, you got to be careful when you listen to these figures. With 28 days, it said within 21 days of a positive test. So you might hear the figures was 500 yesterday, or the figures was 600. It is not like 600 or whatever, 900 people. They're adding it up. For a period of time, from a 28-day period. So there are a lot of things that want us to look at when you hear the thing. And somehow you wonder sometimes if the news is sometimes if there's an agenda, is like they want to train people's mind to think a particular way, train people's mind to line up in a certain way. You get that sort of sense in that there's this training, that the mind they're trying to go this way. You sense that, right? And also the other thing also herd Jane, herd immunity. Boris spoke about this some long time ago, and many people talk about that. This should have been the way. I'll get that in and then get everybody immune. I believe that I had COVID in the initial stage in March. I've said that before. All the symptoms that I could think of: fever, running nose, coughing, whoop whoop, just bedridden for a while. Never felt it like it before. I felt I had it. Don't know. That time there was no testing. Lots of people had it, I believe. I know somebody who said to me, Silbert, I think I had it about 6 times already within one day. Anyway, he was exaggerating. I think what he was trying to say that he believed he had it. Okay? So you see, like the media sometimes, especially when it comes on to the vaccine, and I'm not discounting that the vaccine is good, and I'm not discounting that the vaccine is bad. Who am I to critique the scientists? Because they are the professionals. But sometimes when you see like the way how they are engineering it or PRing or sort of branding it in a certain way to reach the people, and because they say like Black people are not so keen in taking the vaccine, with reasons why Black people don't feel like taking the vaccine, then you have lots of persons who are Black being promoted in the sense of being shown around to say, go ahead and take it, it's okay. And it is like people's fears and people's concern should be pushed aside. And then people are going to be punished for that. That is what I have issues with, Sir, there are apparently 90,000 NHS staff off sick. The reason so many more cases because the UK is the top tester in the world. Why there are apparently 90,000. Now, I have no evidence of this, but this is what Bedcam is saying. And I saw something earlier this week. Today, someone posted it. And I'm going to look if I can find it. But someone posted, and what they said was that the same time last year, you had a similarity whereby thousands of nurses, medical fraternity, was off. And it was attributed to Brexit. Here it is. Here, this was December the 3rd, 2018. Hospitals in race to combat toughest ever winter crisis for NHS. Hospitals in race to combat. Right? Health services set up emergency measures as number of A&E patient surges. And the news that I'm hearing also is that there's a surge. Then it goes further. This one is Sunday the 24th, November 2019. NHS winter fair crisis. Fear grows after thousands of EU staff quit. Mass resignation after Brexit vote compound held staffing shortages. Yeah, 2019, 24th of November, right? Friday the 18th, December 2020. Give NHS staff COVID vaccine now or face growing winter crisis, says hospital bosses. So you're going to see all of these things. You wonder, but wasn't there a crisis in 2018? Wasn't there a crisis in 2019? So this crisis now because of COVID, okay, I understand that crisis, but what happened to the other crises which normally happen? Where are those crises? Are those crises gone? Is there no more flu problem? Is flu a thing of the past? I don't know. Think about that. That's a very interesting point there. The the top scientists in the UK believe in COVID as okay, right? His girlfriend, yeah, George Robinson. They are training people to think a certain way. In other words, COVID-19 has introduced a new religion, right? Less than 400 people under 60 have died of COVID. Actually, it was 338 even recently. And I see a doctor in America, and Doctor, what if I forget her name is? I'll mention her name. And she said, "Give us a selfie when you take the vaccine. Show a picture, video it." And everybody says, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And it's like it's a bit like when you're having the clapping of the NHS. And when they were clapping of the NHS the time at the recent lockdown, and when you had all the different nurses which were being shown, they were all white nurses and there were white doctors or so. You never see images of black nurses and black doctors. They weren't shown, right? Except when someone dies, if anything. And now when you see all these images now of black nurses, black doctors saying they were at the forefront of creating the vaccine, this person has said it, the nurse in Jamaica, the Jamaican nurse in New York who said, let's get vaccine. She took the vaccine and now she took the second dose of the vaccine and all those sort of things. It's like trying to take people for idiots, right? And the more I see this, I said, it is better you don't say that. It is better you don't display such hypocrisy. It's better you just say, this is what the virus is. This is what the vaccine is. You got Pfizer, which is XYZ, and you got this new one by Oxford now, which is XYZ. The Pfizer, you gotta store that at some minus 80 degrees or whatever like that. The Oxford, I must say, to be honest with you, listening to the Oxford one, I'm saying to myself, that sounds a bit more interesting. Not saying I'm warming to it, if anything, but you listen, you check out the one. The Pfizer one sounds a bit dodgy, but the Oxford one sounds a bit more amenable in a sense, or maybe because it's home ground in the UK. I don't know. Even though my mother called me and said from Jamaica and said, "Don't take that thing there, now. Come on, don't take that thing there." So, but you cannot stop people from saying those things. You cannot stop people from sharing their views in regards to that. I don't know what you guys think. You think it is fair, And I've said this many times, and I'm saying it again as well. Is it fair for people to feel subjected to be called anti-vax because they have a reservation of something? I wear the mask. I social distance. I don't go nowhere. I'm not going nowhere at all. But I go to the supermarket. I jog every day. I do not jog. I don't do the jog. I run, and I'm going to show a video of a walk which I do sometimes to inspire people to get outside and walk. Open up the windows. Get some fresh air in your system. Get some vitamin D. Of course, you got to maybe use tablets for vitamin D because we don't have much sun now. But be fit, eat properly, eat healthy, get the mind focused. I got 2 books to write next year. I just decided today. I said, okay, half of this year, next year, I'm going to write a book. Half of next year, I'm going to write another book. Okay? Get something, create something, do something new, if anything. Because I don't believe things are going to go back to normal. Because all the great innovators, even Elon Musk was saying that humans and robots will have to start to work together, like iRobots. Yes? We'll work in partnership together. So therefore, if you see the signs going a particular way, you've got to start to think and move a particular way, because that's how the way is moving with artificial intelligence. BPOs. My interview with Jenny the other things are just traveling all over the world. People who are great, went to universities and did fantastic things. Yeah, yeah, you know, you know, you know, when you do that, then what will happen? So therefore, what you got to do, you got to be very creative. Keep your mouth shut and look like a fool instead of opening and prove it. Now less than 400. Betgan Bitchin, I don't know what that means. If that's a message to me or whatever, what you can clarify that point there. Not going to put it up there. So we're in this new era, ladies and gentlemen, and you know schools will go back. And what is it under tier 4 rules? Non-essential shops, beauty salons, hairdressers must close, and people are limited to meeting in a public outdoor place with their household or one other person. Health Secretary Matt Hancock told MPs that rising cases across England mean it is therefore necessary to apply Tier 3 measures, more broadly too, including Liverpool and North Yorkshire. In Tier 3, household mixing is banned indoors and in private gardens, while the rule of 6 applies. All of the tier change will come into effect GMT on Thursday, the 31st of December. So we are going into the new year on the further lockdown, and people are saying there's a possibility of a total lockdown in this country. What can you do during the course of that time? What are the things you can do? Think about those things. Think on it, ponder it. Some things that you may not have been able to do before, here is the opportunity to do it again, right? And that is what's going on. People have to decide and to create some innovative things. One of my words which I shared today, and which I'm going to move into now, because I'm not going to talk about this COVID thing because everything is around. Well, Diane said what you can do is pray. Pray. We mentioned that before. Pray. Okay. This is something that I shared today. It said, you are destined for success and you have permission to claim it. Right? You are destined for success and you have permission to claim it. Right? There's success. Listen, God is not the author of confusion and rubbish and foolishness. Right? And if God gave persons will and gave them dreams and gave them gifts, they said the gift would make the way. Remember the people with the talent? 5, 3, and I believe 1. The one with the 1 hit it. And the other 2, they multiplied with the 3 and the 5. If that's the case, they multiplied. The gifts will make a way. And you're going to find some giftings in yourself. And those things are going to make a way. Live your life to the fullest as you don't know what the future holds. Yeah? And that's again, live your life to the fullest as you don't know what the future holds. I mean, today, I can't play it now because if I play it, I'm gonna get copyright strike or so. But I did a couple of videos with Keith Sweat and just doing some lip syncing. Just enjoy that. Come on, enjoy. You got to enjoy your life. So you are destined for success, and you have permission, and you have to claim it. That's a word which I put out there on my motivational walk and talk motivational moment, and this one which I shared earlier. I think it was before Christmas, and this one is also powerful. And there it is. Do not let your spirit, your heart, your soul, and your mind go into lockdown mode. Be free and soar like an eagle. Listen very carefully. Do not let your heart, your soul, and your mind go into lockdown mode. Yeah? Soar like an eagle. Now, that is very powerful, ladies and gentlemen, because right now I'm going to talk about the eagle mentality at the same time. And when I was walking of recent days, I actually shared the whole aspect of an eagle. But I wasn't talking about the eagle that is, I want to talk about the eagle that is just soaring, or the different aspects of the eagle. I was sharing something which I've never shared before and something which I've never looked at before. But what came to me very forcefully was this. The eagle do not take passengers. The eagle do not take companions on the journey. The eagle soar, and the eagle fly high, and the wind takes that eagle What the eagle does, ladies and gentlemen, is that the eagle will search for a prey, and the eagle will spot that prey from far up, and the eagle will pounce. When he pounces and he takes that prey, it is not to play around with that prey, it is to name it. It is a conquest, and it is for something which is sustenance. It is food. Maybe it is food for his children, but it is food, right? That's not companion. That's not passengers, right? He's taking it for food, for sustenance. Therefore, and it's a lonely point. Everyone has this lonely journey that they have to embark in at a particular time. Yes, you have to work with people. Yes, you have to have association. Yes, you have to have teamwork. But there's a time where you have to be alone. And that is a time where you actually soar high, spread your wings. You can't take any passengers with you. You got to travel light, like a cowboy sometimes. They'll travel with their gun and their blanket and a water. That's all. Travel light. No companion. And do not get into this lockdown mode whereby you want to roll over and die. It's a simple thing to do where people, your spirit is troubled. Your heart is overwhelmed, you know? And if your heart is overwhelmed, the song says, or the scripture says, lead me to the rock, which is higher than I. If my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock, or as the deer panted for the water brook, so my soul panted after thee. Okay? And here I'm talking with some scriptural sort of things at the same time that we have to learn to be focused. Have to stay focused, ladies and gentlemen. You have to, at this time, to be focused because there are forces coming left, right, and center. Some which are good, some which are bad. But if you don't understand, you get overwhelmed. And one of the most important things, which I always say, is that every morning, purpose in your heart to walk, or purpose in your heart to do something like even, run, do some exercise, do something like that in your heart, purpose. And I tell you what, it is fantastic, and I'm saying that because I'm doing it. I'm not saying anything which I don't do. Go out there in the morning and you walk. Get up early, 7 o'clock, 8, even when it's dark. Walk. I can tell you this, I didn't walk today. Why? Because I had some meetings. I've not been in lockdown at all. I've been working same way in courts. That's been happening since March, non-stop, right through court hearings, right through. Of course, you don't go out and you don't go to the court. Everything is virtual, but sometimes you need the time. And I was going to walk in the night, but I'm going to do it first thing in the morning tomorrow. And weekends, I love the long walk. I do a long walk, and I actually have this thing which I call motivational moment. And I'm going to give you a snippet of what it is like. So I do a walk sometimes, and I talk, and then when after I come back home and I look at the videos, and I learn a lot of things. But this is just an idea, which is like a promotion at the end of my videos, which happened when I did a walk. Have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so that's me there walking in Catford on the Sea, and I just there's snippets of some of the walk which I do in the mornings, and I tell you it is beautiful. As you can see, you can see the bushes, you can see the pathway, and the beautiful thing about in the mornings, you're actually engaging with nature, from ashes to ashes, dust to dust. From the ashes we come, and the ashes we go, and therefore it somewhat refreshes the mind And I tell you, it is a wonderful thing and it's beautiful. So I'll encourage for you to do that. So I just wanted to come on tonight and just to talk casually and just to keep this opportunity whereby I invite people to share their views and to talk and just to give us a positive spin to anything, to everything out there. And what I put out there yesterday, which is good for COVID, and you can try this because this is one of the best remedy for COVID, I must say. I was advised, and there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. And I kid you not, that's not Jack Daniels. That's a Jack Daniels glass. That is Uncle Ray, okay, with lemon. Not fully, totally all of Uncle Ray. I don't drink that much really, but that's a way they say which is good for COVID. That's a good vaccine. That is something I'm sure many people would be happy to put in their body at this time. All right. So I want to wish you a very good night, and thank you so those on Instagram, those on Facebook. Remember to share this video, and be positive in all that you do. You have no choice, but I charge you, and I challenge you to be positive in the things that you do. Thank you so much, Desiree, Betcan, Big Jane, and all those who came on, and those who are going to see Mission Clark, and Leicester, and those on Instagram. Thank you so much, and have a good night. And listen, I want to wish you a happy New Year when it comes, and may the New Year be one which is fully rewarding. Let the New Year one whereby you don't go in there with hesitation or fear, because sometimes people want to do things and they said they don't want to say too much because they fear that they're going to be disappointed, right? The 2020 is not completed yet, and I'm sure you'll find things in 2020 that you can look back and say 2020 was good to you. Try and find that, because you'll be surprised. Now, of course, many people have lost their families. Many people have lost friends. Many people have not been able to grieve properly because they have not actually see their families as well. Many people miss the companionship of their friends, miss the companionship of their lovers, or so, because they're isolated. People are not being able to be with their children. The front key workers, NHS staff, those working in elderly homes, that is sometimes a very a heavy challenge, and it is understandable. But we have got to somehow find these positive attributes and these positive things that will strengthen us at this time, because God is good. And this is a interrupted process. It is like slavery, which is not the start of one's history. It was an interruption process. And we've got to look at it that way, that what COVID is, an interruption process. We've got to fight it. I can't vouch for the vaccine, and I will not promote the vaccine. That's not my job to promote it. But as an individual, I can only think about what is best for me and my family at this time. Okay? And the most important thing is to be healthy, wash your hands. That is something we're taught to do. Wash your hands. Even if you buy water from the shops or so, my wife always makes sure wipe off everything. Don't let the children touch it. And the Amazon people come by, whatever, you wipe your hand, you wash your hands. I tell you what, one of the things I saw the other day, I was in Iceland, and Iceland need to be careful. This has happened twice, where I had to pull up a couple of the cashiers, where my bill was done, and I always find it hard to open these bags. Trying to open these bags, it takes me forever, and I think the cashier sort of pushed my goods a bit down and started to bring over the person with other goods or the other customer. And I had to stop and say, no, you don't do that. Let me finish completely what I'm doing and move away. And these are the good ways you see some simple things where cross-contamination and mix-up. Because, listen, when I go to the supermarket, ladies and gentlemen, and sometimes I don't like to, my wife will message me and say, while you're there, pick up this, pick up that. And then I get another, oh, I've been there already. What is that thing? What type of that is it? And then I do a video, and then I take off a mask and I'm talking and blah, blah, blah. And trust me, I'm sure droplets of water dropping out of my mouth or so, because the mask might be off a bit with a product. And therefore, that is my product. But can you imagine if that is happening with other persons as well, and they come and their product link with your product? So, these are little things, these are little ways how the cross contamination can happen. So, we've got to think about those things. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. All right. Have a good night. God bless you. May, may Lord bless you. May He keep you. May His face shine upon you, and may He give you peace. And you have a fantastic 2021. It's gonna be your year. I know people are saying, where are the people saying this is your year? It's gonna be your year because 2020 was your year. Every year is your year. God has created it and He has made it. Have no fear, no matter what. Speak it out. Speak it out. That is your year. Say it's your year. You don't have to say it publicly. You don't have to put everything on internet. You don't have to put everything on social media. You don't have to put anything on Instagram. But say it. It's your hair. It's my hair, and I can do it. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. Peace out and bye bye. Thank you.